So who's going to go in there? Nick, you go. You go.
He might be in there pulling his putt. I don't want to get all over me.
Yeah, Nick's just not man enough, is he?
Nick is a man. He came on my face.
That's right.
Welcome, kiddies, to the third worst podcast on Nerdlocker.com. It's another special edition of Deathlocker podcast. Tonight's show will feature discussion of possibly one of the worst fucking movies ever. Detention Night, aka Famine. You're in for a real shit show with this one, kiddies, with your host, coming straight out of the strip club trailers of Oklahoma, Shane Hobo Socks Minor, and the man who loves chicks with small asses, Justin Skeleton Booty Moriarty. And now, your host, Shane Minor.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Deathlocker on the Nerdlocker Network. Thanks to JRD for the intro. One of the people that we didn't get in there is Kenny Kong Miskell. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello. I'm doing all right, man.
And we have a skeleton booty, Justin Moriarty, with us as well.
What's poppin', guys?
So you guys are new to the Deathlocker podcast, yes?
Sadly.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us all your deepest and darkest secrets?
Well, main thing I do is I'm a Twitch streamer. That's something I usually keep to myself because it's super lame. Other than that, I just recently got associated with Nerdlocker, and I'm going to start doing movie reviews with them as well as a couple podcasts.
Awesome. So, sir, do you consider yourself to be a nerd?
Oh, I'm a huge fucking nerd.
What's nerdy about you, other than your skeleton booty?
I watch an uncomfortable amount of Japanese cartoons and play video games to the point where my fiance considers leaving me.
Do you masturbate a lot to the Japanese cartoons?
On a regular basis, yes, sir.
Awesome. What about you, Kenny?
Well, I am not a Twitch streamer. I am a twerk streamer. I do like video games. I'm into horror movie art, screen print posters, horror movies in general. That's about it. I do masturbate, but not the Japanese porn.
What do you masturbate to?
I don't know. I like the amateur stuff, really. I don't like the professional grade stuff. I like xvideos.com. That's my favorite.
So you're not an X-Hamster guy? You go right to Xvideos?
Yep.
Outstanding.
I think you guys are missing out. There's not tentacles. It's not fun.
I have seen one with the tentacle monster before, and it wasn't like a Japanese one. It was kind of weird, but it wasn't a cartoon, that's why it was weird.
Outstanding. Well, I think that means we can go to get sponsorship from Xvideo now, yeah?
Yeah, they're obligated to give us money at this point.
Okay, guys. So here's the deal. Normally, well, I can't say normally. This is only the fucking third podcast you've done. The goal with this podcast is not just to talk about random fucking horror stuff, but to also talk about some classic horror movies. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Myself, Justin, Kenny, we're going to take you down. We're going to take you back to school, if you will, for the horror classic Detention Night. So what's your guys' history with Detention Night?
Well, I'd seen that you posted on Facebook that you're watching it for your Friday the 13th weekend. And I thought to myself, well, it looks like a piece of shit. I bet I can enjoy watching that. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, I was right in all assumptions.
I don't know if I'd say it's a piece of shit. I mean, it's, when you're looking at the bowels of Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon, there's just a ton of random low budget stuff. And it really reminds me of going to the video stores back when I was a kid, where you would sit there and you would just grab a video, a VHS cassette based off of the off of the cover art. And I think that's something that you see now with Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix is you have this cover art that makes it look interesting, and so you hit play and just see what happens.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I still have the firm belief that it is a piece of shit, but it's like a piece of shit with corn in it, so there's a little bit of substance behind it, you know?
A piece of shit with corn. Okay, man. What about you, Kenny? What's your history with this thing?
Well, I watched it on your suggestion. I did not get sucked in by cover art. I can only imagine the cover art is as bad as this movie is.
So the reason why Kenny's here is we were supposed to have a third, and unfortunately the third couldn't make it tonight. So I shot Kenny over a text and I was like, "Hey, man, what you doing tonight?" And here he is. And a couple hours later, Detention Night podcast.
God bless poor Kenny.
One of the things you guys may or might not have noticed is we are drinking heavily. At least myself and Justin are drinking heavily for this. I think Kenny's being the sober one.
I got a Diet Coke.
Ooh,
it's delicious.
Don't have too many of those. I've got a 6-pack of Mike's Blackberry Pear Lemonade and a bottle of Malibu rum. What do you got there, Skeleton Booty?
I'm about halfway through a bottle of Jim Beam. The cheap stuff that gets you where you need to go.
Awesome. So this is going to be completely coherent, yeah?
As always.
Okay. Well, in the spirit of things that are completely coherent, Justin, why don't you give us a plot synopsis?
In a state that I can only assume is Oklahoma because of the poor education, a group of about 20, 40-year-olds are still in high school. 5 years after a horrible accident, a teacher forces them to starve for 24 hours for extra credit. And that's when a reject Bob the Builder goes apeshit and murders about half of them in the first 45 minutes. Sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy one of the shittiest movies on Amazon Prime, Detention Night, a.k.a. Famine. A.k.a. Famine, dumb kids deserve to die. That's about all I got.
I think he totally fucking summed that up right there. That is the best thing ever.
I think the podcast is over. Done. Hit stop. Oh, my God.
That's it. Hit in recording. We're finished. Pack it up, boys.
Okay, so yeah, Detention Night. Came across this thing on Amazon. I was doing 13 horror movies over the course of the last Friday the 13th weekend, and I was trolling. Came across this movie, Detention Night. Watched it. It's only about I think it comes in about an hour, 15 minutes, hour 20.
It is 77 minutes.
And the best part is it's free with Amazon Prime.
It's free with fucking YouTube. Shouldn't say that. But of course we paid for it. We watched it legally. But if you do a little research on this gem, it's actually called Famine because these fuckers are not on detention at all. So I'm not quite sure how they got Detention Night. So the movie's Famine came out 2011, 2012. According to IMDb, it's a horror comedy. It is directed by the auteur, Ryan Nicholson, who's directed such fucking things as, I don't know, let's bring this up. Gutterballs 2, Balls Deep.
And the weird thing with Ryan Nicholson is like, it's like everyone in this movie's involved in good movies, but they're like little side like makeup artists and shit. Like Ryan Nicholson, he worked on Chronicles of Riddick, Andromeda, Blade Trinity. Like he's a makeup guy that just said, "Hey, you know what? You know what I should do? Just make a really shitty horror movie."
Well, I mean, he said good movies. Which ones are the good ones?
Good movies with quotation marks around it.
Good movies with quotation marks. Oh, God. I mean, Chronicles of Riddick isn't horrible. I mean, I guess we can give him some credit on the makeup for that.
Oh, I love that one.
Well, he's also doing the creature makeup for the new Predator movie, as well as Deadpool 2. He did makeup on Blair Witch and The Evil in Us, as well as the new Blood
so
Feast
actually
remake.
Supposedly has some fucking talent, huh?
Yeah, I mean, his IMDb page, I mean, it lists a lot of movies. He's done a lot of it's all makeup and props though. So I just assume he's like, I want to try to reach out to something else, and this was the attempt.
So you're saying the cover art for this should say, you know, from the creator of The Predator, Deadpool 2, Puppet Killer, and Blood Feast comes Detention Night.
I mean, it would if this movie came out, post 2011.
Hey, apparently he worked on the props for a movie called Meat Market, and he did uncredited work for Air Buddies and the cinematic treasure that is Kyle XY.
We're talking a lot about like the cover art for it, but the cover art for this movie really isn't that bad. Like the original Famine cover art. I mean, it looks like it still look like a horrible horror movie, but it doesn't look like it be what it actually turned out to be.
Dude, the original cover art is fucking horrible. I mean, so the movie's called Detention Night, but it was released a few years back under the name of Famine, 70 Ways to Kill a Fucking Teenager, or fucking All Teenagers Must Die, or some shit.
It's a Famine, 20 students, 20 hours, 20 horrible ways to die. But with that, there should be the note that there's not 20 students.
He didn't have the fucking budget for 20 students.
Yeah, but 20 Famine, like 5 students doesn't sound near as cool. Get that Amazon money in there.
Famine, 20 students enter, no students return. Okay.
Sounds like some battle royale shit.
Fucking Battle Royale 5, The Famine. Okay, let's take a look at the actors in this fucking masterpiece. I want to say something positive, but there's not one fucking actor in this entire fucking movie that's really done anything substantial.
No, I don't know any of them. I went and started clicking on their names on IMDb and just trying to see if they was in something that I knew, and I didn't see nothing.
I will actually challenge that. Michelle Sabine, who is Miss Vickers in the movie, actually plays in a movie where she fucks a ghost, and that is worth a watching itself. Yeah, Michelle Sabine, she is in a movie. She's the leading actress in a movie called Truth that came out in 2011.
Is that a future podcast movie?
Lord, I hope so. Any movie where I can talk about fucking ghosts is a winner in my book.
Okay, so Miss Vickers is a future Oscar winner, according to Justin. Now, since this is our first podcast doing this, I tried to be really fancy and try to take notes of this thing. You guys have any luck with your note taking?
I got about a page and a half of stuff I can't read.
I got about 2 pages in a small notebook, well, medium-sized notebook, and I wrote down the things that I thought were, well, that's fucking weird.
I think you guys can kind of tell from the way we're going is this movie is not necessarily a good movie.
I really like this movie, and I hate myself because of the fact that I really like this movie.
I mean, do you feel like you need therapy now because you dig it?
I feel like I need to see like a therapist or a doctor of some sort, because anyone that likes this movie should probably go to jail or be locked up.
Well, let's get down to it. So this movie starts off with I want to say protagonist, but she's like credited like 9th in the movie. What's her name? Jenny. She's walking through your standard movie, high school, Buffy, I know what you did last summer, every fucking stereotype there is known to man. And the first thing they hit her with is the 4 eyes. I did not get the nerd vibe from this chick.
Yes.
They're like, "How you doing, 4 eyes?" And it's just like, at no point in the movie is she ever seen with glasses of any sort. Even in the flashback 5 years ago, she's not seen with glasses.
Well, that's kind of a constant theme with this movie and her character is they keep referring to her like a nerd. But, I mean, other than the fact that she's like fucking 79,000 years old, I mean, she's wearing a push-up bra. She's got her short hair. She doesn't look bad. I mean, she's very milfy.
Well, and that's the weird shit with this character is like in the beginning, she's completely normal. And then about 10, 15 minutes in, she has like Tourette's. And then about 30 minutes in, they pretty much acknowledge that she's special ed.
So is that your theory, Justin, that this whole movie takes place in a fucking special ed school?
Oh, all these kids are retards, but at least the actors that play them are.
So let's go through our Scooby gang. So we got fucking Jenny, who is basically a chick with some tits, and she's wearing a push-up bra, short hair, and she plays this just completely ditzy whatever the fuck. You've got your basic standard high school bitch. You've got the high school bitch that has her 2 minions. You've got, and this is the one that really fucked me up, is the main douchebag guy. I'm not even going to bother. From this point on, I'm just going to call him fucking douchebag number 1. is he's got this.
Don't you disrespect Nick. Don't disrespect Nick like that. As soon as I saw him with that pop-up shirt in the intro, I was like, this is my guy.
That's the most awesome thing. This motherfucker's got this pop-up shirt like he's from the fucking 80s. And I mean, he's even got his fucking his cuffs rolled up. He's got this fucking like John Travolta a la Grease fucking haircut going on.
And every line from Nick is just pure gold. That's a fact.
Everything. And one of the things we learned about Jenny is she's very adept at fucking tripping. So she trips. She's got some relationship with the fucking Scooby Gang. They call her names, and this is what's establishing the Jenny's the outsider of the group.
Well, they do acknowledge like halfway through the movie that she is special needs. Like, because the entire time I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know if this chick's hot or not. I don't know if I should feel anything about this. And then like halfway through, they're like, yeah, she's a retard. I'm like, oh, okay. I feel bad about everything I've thought in the past 30 minutes.
See, I must have been rolling my eyes because I do not remember anything about that being said that there were special needs. It doesn't explain nothing for me. That I don't. Jesus,
no, this is a theory that Justin has.
Well, no, Jenny and Kathy are both acknowledged as being special needs students in the movie. That's one of the things that they start picking on them for.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they necessarily acknowledge them as much as they kind of tease them about just calling them fucking retarded for a second call them. But so I mean, kind of what we get to now is this is to me one of the most interesting points of the movie, and it's something Justin and I talked at length about. Is this movie a comedy or is it a horror? So we get to our title sequence, and our title sequence, first thing we're hit with is sloppy secondary, home of the nailer.
I think my personal theory is that in the beginning, the guy, Ryan, he was like, I want to make a legitimate horror movie. And he got everything in line for it. And then at some point, some producers were like, no, this is shit. We need to be able to make something we can market. So they kind of transferred it to more of a comedic stance.
See, I'm not 100% sold on that, man. I mean, I'm watching this, and at first I thought, I mean, the cinematography for a low-budget, cheesy fuck horror movie is actually not super horrible. Some of the production design is not super fucking horrible. You know, we're not talking like a classic fucking movie here, but you know, in regards to some of the fucking trite that's out there, this is not that fucking bad. And
oh, I thought the camera and the lighting was great, especially like near the end of the movie. It was very eerie. The scenes with Naylor walking around, I thought it was well done. In fact, it's probably one of the better done parts of the movie.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. But I mean, right off the bat, you know, we're getting this fucking title sequence, sloppy secondary, and it goes to the whole fucking yearbook, tells us this class of, I mean, the title credits calls it fucking Famine, even though they bill it as Detention Night. But as they're going through fucking sloppy secondary class of 2012, you know, all the characters have like the worst fucking names.
Yeah.
Vanessa Vadimir, Token Black Girl, Sarah's whatever sluts,
Jenny Jameson, like Jenna Jameson.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this it's fucking odd because I don't know if they're going for a Club Dread vibe or if it's like Justin said, you know, they're just, you know, they were trying to make a legit horror movie, and someone just said, "Fuck it, let's just make it a comedy because none of y'all motherfuckers can act."
Hold up. I want to go back to Token Black Girl. Vanessa was fantastic in this movie. This is one of the things that I do have an issue with in most horror movies. I feel like half the time the writers are just kind of sitting there. It's like, what would a black person say in this scene? And it comes out very kind of stereotypical. But I mean, Vanessa really wasn't too differential from the other characters.
So they whitewashed her.
Yeah, they whitewashed the shit out of her, and I like that.
So they took the Token Black Girl and then made her as Caucasian as possible.
Yeah, seeing as I'm the dad from Get Out, like that is my goal for most horror.
That's fucking horrible, but it's true. Okay, so movie starts off and everyone's doing all kinds of shenanigans, and we get into the teacher's lounge, and these are the world's worst teachers. It's just I feel like this is kind of a cameo parts. I was trying to look them up on IMDb and stuff to figure out who these fuckers are, but you got this one motherfucker who apparently is wearing a polo shirt and a tie, and then this creepy looking motherfucker, and they're just sitting there hanging out, Googling over Miss Vickers, who's one of our main characters. just talking about how much they want to fuck the students, they want to fuck the teacher.
It's weird because these two characters really don't belong in this movie. They kind of feel like they're just kind of shoved in there at the beginning part, and then later they're really only used as for moving plot forward.
I mean, I don't even know if they moved the fucking plot forward, did they? I mean,
yeah, it was the shit when she got kicked. When Jenny got thrown out of the school, she got back in with her keys, even though there were chains on the door for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I don't know if that fucking moved the plot forward.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, because other than that, you don't see him till that part. I don't think.
No, and they're just sitting in their fucking car for no reason. One of them gets killed with some fucking air freshener. Like it's some weird shit.
Yeah, to me it just speaks like fucking director, producer, cameo fodder. So, we sit there, we're introduced. I mean, the main purpose of this scene is just to kind of give us Miss Vickers, and she's the hot teacher, and she, for some reason, really likes to fucking sniff Jack Daniels, because they have two different scenes of her fucking sniffing the Jack Daniels. Awesome. And then we move on to some exposition about our little Scooby gang. They're all congregating in the hallway. This new famine's coming up, and we kind of start to learn a little bit about all the different personalities.
I'd like to make a statement on Miss Vickers that's kind of a spoiler, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my new theory behind this movie is that the director, Ryan Nicholson, I think that he banged a tranny. And like this entire movie is trying to get us to feel weird so that when they do the big reveal at the end, we're like, whoa, wow, I kind of had the hots for that chick.
So,
it's a classic, I fucked a tranny, now I want to make you feel weird, situation.
That would make a lot of sense.
So your idea is this whole movie is just basically one big LGBTYQ promotion fucking movie, so that way we can be more acceptance of multiple sexualities and lifestyles?
No, not even that. Ryan Nicholson is just really scared that he banged a tranny, and now he's going to think everyone thinks he's gay. So he's like, I got to make everyone else feel gay.
He's just going to call it fucking research for the movie?
Yeah, that's the only reason this entire movie got made, was because Ryan felt weird.
He felt weird. That he was the tranny named fucking Vic.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Who hasn't?
Who hasn't banged a tranny? I don't know. Kenny, how many trannies have you banged?
I haven't banged any. I had a buddy that was getting a blowjob from a prostitute for a couple months and didn't realize it was a tranny until he took his friend.
God bless.
So, okay, wait, hold on, pause. Okay. We're going to put a pin in this fucking whole conversation about detention night. How did he not know?
Oh.
I don't know. Like, so my buddy was getting blowjobs from a hooker, and I guess he was getting them for a couple months at $20 a piece. And one day I will say, like, this dude, like, he is a weird kind of dude, but he asked one of my other friends, it's like, hey, I know where we can go get a blowjob for $20 if you want to go. Dude's like, sure.
Dude, what kind of fucking people do you hang out with?
Well, I hung out with different people in my youth. So this is like 10 years ago or more. So they're looking all over they're driving around looking for this hooker, and finally find her. And he's like, oh yeah, I brought my friend, if that's all right. I hope you don't mind. And the hooker looks at my buddy. It's like, yeah, I don't know if he's into what I got though. And so the guy he took, he says, what the fuck does that mean? And he looks over at the dude that took him, and he's like, yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Pulled up the skirt, had a dick. Dude been getting a blowjob from this girl for a couple months and did not know it was a dude. And so he's crying on the way home, like, please don't tell. And the dude's like, I ain't going to tell, man. As soon as he got out of that fucking car, he fucking called and told everybody.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah. I mean, you understand you're telling this fucking story from a first-person perspective, right?
Yeah. Now, if it was me, I was like, oh, well, I got tricked. Oh, well. She gave good head.
Did you just, like, cuckold that whole situation and just fucking watch from the corner? Or?
Yeah.
I just want to put out that Deathlocker is very LGBT positive. That trannies are just chicks with accessories.
LGBTQ for questioning.
We got it. Oh.
Okay, so we got our fucking Scooby gang here hanging out. We got our fucking douchebag number one. We got the bitch number one. I honestly didn't even bother in my notes right now what the fuck their names is. I think the bitch number's one name is Sarah.
Hell yeah, it's Sarah. That's Nick's main squeeze.
We got our token black girl. We got some dude with the world's worst fucking wig, which will come into play later. And then we got the fucking, sea level Ethan Embry look-alike with his fucking receding hairline. And then some chick who fucking dies really quick. But I mean, this is our Scooby Gang minus Jennifer. This is kind of where the movie kind of just throws me off because they spend a lot of time on these guys, but then somehow Jennifer ends up being the protagonist of the film.
I just want to point out something that's kind of I thought was kind of cool with this movie is after the little beginning sequence with Jenny walking down the hall, they do like a brief introduction with the characters, and the characters have like their niche under their name in like this yearbook style in the opening credits where it says like Nick the jock or Sarah the slut. I thought that was kind of cool how they did that.
I mean, Nick the jock. Okay. I don't think I'd classify Nick as a jock.
He was on the boxing team, That's
He was on the boxing team.
That's fucking jockey as it gets in the shitty school.
But I mean, just to kind of give you guys an idea of the writing talents, we have such gems as "This is as lame as yesterday's douche."
My favorite line in this movie is, "I'd do Miss Vickers in a second." You mean like for a second? It's fucking solid gold there, guys.
So as the Scooby Gang decides to fucking solid gold, yeah, we're not gonna fucking pause and redo. All the fuck ups are gonna stick around us, guys. So our Scooby Gang dissipates. They go off and do their thing, and our fucking Ethan Embry look-alike and some other motherfucker who, for some reasons, wearing a leather jacket, decides that they want to fuck with our janitor. So we get our stereotypical creepy janitor who has got the worst fucking party galaxy fucking makeup on his face.
Yes. And that right there is like what started for me not to like this or to be bothered with it. It's like if this dude, his background is makeup and special effects, then why the fuck is that like that?
Hold on. Are you guys trying to tell me you didn't like Vagina Face? That was a key character, and the makeup was spot on.
His character is fine. The fucking makeup is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This whole fucking character was just, it was like someone just gave him an overreacting pill. Everything he said was just overemphasized, and it was just like, it was like fucking Igor, man. I mean, and apparently this school's really fucking dirty because this dude's in this entire fucking movie, and all he does is fucking sweep. He's like sweeping 24/7.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it's like he's just there. He's like an ever-present character.
And he fucking fingers his face.
Well, so the movie kind of addresses this. He's a political commentary on how soldiers are when they get back from Afghanistan.
Oh my god! So you're saying he's PTSD'd up, and because of that, he fucking finger bangs his face?
Yeah, that's what most people do in the military. At least I assume it is.
They finger bang the face.
Yeah, that's what I did when I was in. That's what you do now, isn't it?
I don't know, man. I haven't finger banged my face in a while. So what we're led to believe is not led to believe. Again, alcohol's kicking in. So I guess there's this thing called the famine going on. And apparently the students get school credit, and they can get their GPA raised up by a point if they don't eat food for like a fucking 24 hours. Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked. I don't know what type of school would be like if you starve yourself for 24 hours. And the weird thing about it is like they just sit in the gym and play like ping pong and shit. There's not like stuff for them to do, and they can't have their phones. It's just don't eat for 24 hours and sit in this fucking gym.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing just screams, one of the things I kind of love about these low budget movies is because they have like, $4 to do them, having to try to find creative ways to keep one centralized location.
And I don't know if you guys kind of caught this like error in it or not, but in every description, whether it be like on IMDb or like Amazon, they always reference it's like the last famine was 2 years ago, but every character that talks about it in the movie says it was 5.
Yeah, you're jumping ahead there, buddy.
My apologies.
So we're giving some background to the famine. We got Jenny. She's signing up. And this is just one of the key awkward what the fuck scenes. So Jenny's signing up, and Miss Vickers comes up, and for no fucking reason at all, starts talking about how, hey, Jenny, you drew a flower, but it looks like a vajayjay. And seeing Miss Vickers and Jenny side by side, you're kind of like, fucking Miss Vickers looks about 10 years younger than Jenny. Because whenever they do any kind of close ups on Jenny's face, all you see is fucking crow's feet. And it just highlights how all these fucking actors are like in their mid to late fucking 30s.
I thought Miss Vickers was a student at first too.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that seemed kind of weird, when we, to cut back to the scene where, the two fucking creepy teachers are staring at Miss Vickers, they're talking about her, and then she walks away, and their response is something like underage pussy. And huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like all the cast age is just really off. Like it's like they just, all right, we're going to cast whoever replies to the Craigslist ad first is going to be in the movie.
Well, that kind of gets us to the whole acting, man. I mean, honestly, all fucking shenanigans aside, whoever this chick is who's playing fucking Jenny and Miss Vickers, I think they're the best actors in the movie, because Miss Vickers just commits to this weird deadpan fucking delivery, and then Jenny just commits to this weird, I'm fucking schizophrenic and I have this obsession with fucking petting people delivery.
Yeah, I'd say they were the best, with the exception of my boy Nick, who is definitely a phenomenal actor. Delivered his lines very well.
Your boy Nick. So Oscar fucking nominee. What the fuck's his dude name? So we can fucking hashtag him.
Christopher Lamas. He's a real hero.
What else has Christopher Lamas done?
He was in amazing shorts like The Pearly Gates, Wave, and The Forest. Not to mention Dead Vampires. It's kind of a good list. I mean, when you think about it, what shorts have we been in?
He was the director of photography for Star Vehicle. What the fuck? Oh my god, this motherfucker. Okay, so now we get to we're trolling along, and we get introduced to our principal, who for some reason they just like to throw out fucking the board of trustees, the board of directors, Miss Vickers, you're the PE teacher. So Miss Vickers is the PE teacher. She's a substitute fucking PE teacher. So this is to give you an idea of what she's wearing. She's wearing like a black pantsuit with this weird lacy fucking arm thing and this red fucking backpack. So we come up and we're getting to talking to the principal, who, sure, why not? Let's have the principal be a fucking Nazi.
And it's really weird because his last name is like Nielsen. You think they would have gone with something like super German sounding, like his actual last name? But they're like, no. Nielsen would be fine. That'll hold up pretty well.
Well, this guy gives this little speech about, hey, Miss Vickers, the last famine didn't go out well. If this goes bad, you're going to get fired from your substitute teacher job. And Miss Vickers everybody in this fucking movie has this fucking fetish for touching faces. So Vickers starts, fondling dude's face, walks away, and dude does his little fucking Heil Hitler fucking salute. It's just bad. So we jump from there to Jenny having lunch. And again, we get Jenny tripping because Jenny's, the Craigslist ad said, must be able to trip convincingly. That's kind of what got Jenny her job. And Miss Vickers sits down. She's asking Jenny, hey, what's going on with the famine? I want to know what's going on. What happened with the last famine 5 years ago? And Jenny tells us a tale. Justin, do you want to tell us the tale of Jenny?
I would love to tell this tale. So, just a little preface here for this story. So, Jenny is telling the story to Miss Vickers. Now, Jenny heard it from Sarah, who is Nick's main squeeze. All right?
Now, before we get into that, let's acknowledge the fact that for some reason Jenny has to get right up in fucking Miss Vickers' face and whisper it to her.
So she gets in and she whispers. So she gets in and she's whispering the story of the past. So we learned about a pretentious douchebag named Mr. Balzac, who's been harassing my main boy Nick, by the way. So Mr. Balzac, that's the actual name they went with in the movie, is
Phil Balsack.
Oh yeah, Phil Balzac.
Which he's the PE teacher, and apparently, according to this movie, he likes to conduct a lot of his PE class with a hipster suit and tie fucking outfit.
That's just how the kids dress nowadays. They got to make this movie relatable. Well, anyways, this PE teacher is also the boxing coach, which Nick is trying to be a member of the boxing team. So the story takes place in the last famine, which was approximately 5 years ago from when we're telling it now. One of the special needs students, Kathy, our Scooby-Doo gang, convinces her that Mr. Balzac wants her bad. And according to this flashback, he does, because who doesn't like getting a little bit of in there?
You're skipping over the best part with the fucking boxing, which is, our 7 foot fucking 12-inch tall fucking PE teacher is boxing fucking Nick, your boy, and he just beats him up. He knocks him down, and then Nick gets up and he starts trying to fuck with his girlfriend and gets a little rough with her. Then Balsack waits until Nick punches his girlfriend to the ground, and then comes up and is like, "Hey, you want some of me there, buddy?" And then he does the thing where he puts his fucking hand on Nick's head.
Yes.
Fucking
most ridiculous thing ever.
It's great.
So fucking Nick, who's supposed to be on the fucking boxing team, is just screwing his little fucking hands away like a 4-year-old whose big brother's beating him up, and then Balzac just punches him down the ground, knocks him the fuck out.
And this scene really speaks to me because I identify a lot with Nick, right? So it's like seeing some big guy like Balzac pick on my boy, who I relate with. It hurts.
So you had a lot of experience with the fucking 6'12" man punching you in the face?
Oh yeah, I was a little bitch in high school. That goes without saying.
Okay, so Nick gets his ass beat, then what happens?
All right, so after Nick gets his ass beat, our Scooby-Doo gang pretty much lets Kathy know that Balzac has the hots for her. And so she wants to go and confront him on this. Now, for some reason, Balzac goes after he's done talking to Kathy, kind of like, "Oh, you need special tutoring?" Wink, wink. He's like, "Let's go to the chemistry lab for some fucking reason."
Now, one of the things I think we got to acknowledge about Kathy is she's like Gilda Radner's fucking twin sister.
Oh, yeah, this character's fucking awful. The entire movie, I felt bad watching any scene with her because it's just really offensively done.
Yeah, they just take every stereotype you might think it might have with, I'm not sold on the whole special needs thing, but I kind of get where Justin's going with this, because this character, when she talks like this all the time, and she's like, "Oh my God, guys, I just don't know what to do. Oh my God." That is her entire fucking cadence for this entire movie.
Oh yeah, this character, there's no doubt in my mind she's spelling, because when she talks to Mr. Balzac, she talks like this.
They're Balzac.
It's so fucking bad. So anyways, they go to the chemistry lab for some reason, even though he's a PE teacher. And Mr. Balzac's like, "I'm going to make you feel like 2 women." And Kathy's like,
you're leaving out so fucking much, dude. Oh my God. So fucking Balzac is talking to her, and Balzac's telling her about how she's more attractive to him because while the other girls are preoccupied with their fucking looks, there's something to be said about, nubile breasts, firm, tight bodies. But hey, Kathy, you're real. I like you. You're beautiful. And then she goes and is like, I want her, Mr. Balzac. He's like, I want to make me feel. I want to make you feel good.
Make me feel.
It's make me feel like a woman.
And Mr. Balzac, he goes, "I'll make you feel like 2."
And then who could forget the follow-up line to that, which is just a classic? Was it like, "Let's sex it up"?
Let's do the sex. And she pushes him against this fucking. Oh my God.
You gotta do the voice when you say the line. "Let's do the sex."
Let's do the sex. and she pushes him against his fucking bookcase, and for some fucking reason, there's like 20 ounces of fucking acid on this bookcase. And then the fucking acid falls down on his fucking shoulder. And then she starts yelling, Mr. Balzac, Mr. Balzac, and like clapping her hands and shit like fucking Johnny Five. Oh my god, this is so awesome. I need to drink more. Um, so then this motherfucker comes out, fucking Kathy comes, whatever the fuck her name is, she comes out and she's yelling and she's like, fuck, 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 fuck. And this fucking Scooby gang's laughing. Ha ha ha, look at the fucking little retard kid. And then fucking Ballsack comes out. And Kenny, explain to me what you think fucking Ballsack looks like.
He looks kind of like the Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
I mean, for it to fall on his shoulder, it sure did travel all over the top of his fucking head.
Dude, and the most awesome thing. So, I mean, the Toxic Avenger is right. In my mind, I'm like, Mr. Ballsack, it's Toxic Avenger. He's gross, but he still gets girls, except for fucking Kathy, who's running away. And he's just running out and he's screaming and he's like, bloody fucking murder, right? And for some weird fuck reason, there's like blood pouring from his fucking face, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's like looking at fucking a Batman Clayface fucking Batman Animated Adventures. And
it's like some Pizza the Hut shit.
Dude, for real, for like 4 minutes, we get like fucking Balzac just screaming and fucking melting. Like the fucking Wicked Witch of the West, someone poured some fucking water on him. I'm melting. He's just yelling and yelling and yelling and yelling. Oh, God.
I like to believe that's how normal acid kept in a high school works.
And this is one of the things with this movie that I really don't fucking understand. If this is a fucking comedy or a fucking drama, because the cinematography is actually pretty fucking decent, but the sound cues is fucking comedy. The idea that the fucking gym teacher is going to go to the chem lab and for some weird fuck reason there's like 20 ounces of super acid, I just don't fucking get it at all.
I still really like the belief that like half the crew thought they were working on horror and the other half thought it was like a comedy, so you just got this weird mashup.
I mean, I kind of wonder if it's something that happened in the editing room. I honestly believe that they thought they were making like a legit fucking horror movie. Like they fucking troll-tooed fucking Birdemic this thing where they thought they were making something that was legit. And then once they actually saw how fucking horrible it was, they're like, let's just throw some weird fucking sound cues in there and see what happens. So we get our story. And then we get our first glimpse at Jenny being fucking batshit insane. Tells the story to Miss Vickers. Miss Vickers is like, okay, cool. Hey, Jenny, you weren't there. Jenny's got this weird thing where she fucking just wants to feel like she's part of the fucking team, right? So Vickers is like, hey, were you there? And she's like, no, so-and-so told me. Blase, blase. And then out of the fucking blue, Jenny just starts fucking yelling at Miss Vickers.
Yeah, this is like the first like weird transition for this character where there's like, it's like, by the way, now she has Tourette's.
Fucking understand it at all.
See, I didn't take it as Tourette's. I just thought like they were just trying to make her seem like an agitated teenager or something. Like they were trying too hard to make her not look like she was 40.
And you know what? That's a good point, because that's kind of where I thought they were going too. Is she was relatively normal throughout most of this movie, and then out of the blue, she just starts this fucking trend of just fucking yelling for no reason. And I almost wonder if they're trying to do a whole red herring thing where you're trying to think that she's fucking crazy and that she's the killer. Because earlier on, at the beginning, when she was walking through the school, before the credits, they have the mascot, and she touches the mascot's head weirdly because she's got this weird fucking touching fetish. So I kind of wondered if they were trying to set up to where you were trying to think she was the killer in the movie.
I gotta kind of agree with Kenny on this one, because I like to think that in the beginning of it, they were like, oh, well, maybe if we just have her tits pushed up, people won't notice that she's old as shit. and then like halfway through they realize it's not working. So like,
Hey,
we
I
just gotta make
just
sure
want to say
attached to
that the
team
best
now.
part of this movie is Jenny's tits, so don't fucking talk shit about Jenny's tits.
Oh, I'm not. They're fantastic.
The only good thing about this movie.
Now hold up, my boy Nick is pretty good in this movie too, right?
Yeah, but he don't have tits.
I think we lost our one female listener.
Yeah, they left like in the first 5 minutes of this episode.
Okay, so fucking hell, where are we at? Okay, so now we get to the famine hasn't officially started yet. This is regular fucking school hour. We get another fucking character. I'm gonna call her bitch number 2. She's one of the fucking Scooby Gang, inconsequential. And again, this is somebody else who looks like they're fucking 90 years old, dressed up in a fucking teenager's outfit. But this is where we get our first point of view perspective of our killer in the mascot head. Big ass fucking mascot eyes. She's walking through.
Yeah, I actually really did enjoy the first kind of glimpse at the killer's perspective when she's walking to she's like walking through the gymnasium to the bathroom, and like there's the mascot's like kind of peering from behind the stands or some shit. Like you can see through his eyes. And I thought it was kind of a neat little cinematography thing they did.
Yeah, again, I mean, to me that just speaks to they thought they were making like a legit fucking horror movie because, first thing I thought, I know this is a little bit of a deep cut, but I'm just thinking of like Black Christmas, when the killer's sitting in the closet and you're seeing through his eyes before he's about to pounce.
So I don't know. I thought they kind of like a reference to Halloween, where you get the mask on, you're seeing through the perspective of
exactly.
killer.
You hit it right in the fucking head. Halloween, Black Christmas, Friday the 13th. That whole first person perspective thing. They got.
And I actually I do like the look of the mascot itself. It's not horrible.
No, and that's what I kind of thought was kind of interesting is, so, we get this chick, she goes in there, they're hiding some food for this whole famine shit. Bitch number 1's in there, bitch number 1 fucking takes off, and we get, bitch number 2 is just hanging out taking a piss, right?
It should be noted that at this point they're hiding food in like the tampon dispenser machine. Like that's the whole setup for the scene.
Well, where else would you hide food?
That's a good point. I can't think of anywhere else because when I think hiding food, well, he's got a point there too. God damn, I've been had.
I worked for a jail for almost 8 years, and that's what everybody hides shit as in their ass. They call it their jail purse.
Fun fact: my wife for a while had the job of having to watch the video of dudes waiting for them to pass shit through their fucking ass so she could do the reports. I never knew.
I can top that there. I would have to every once in a while because when I was low in seniority at the jail, like when people would swallow stuff, we would put them in a dry cell and they would have to shit into a toilet that didn't have water in it. And then I would get to go in there with a fucking like a popsicle stick and poke through the shit to find the fucking drugs. And I can't handle poop. That's one thing I can't handle. Like, just imagine like sitting there doing it and gagging and then throwing up on the poop and then still having to pick through it with a popsicle stick.
But the real question is, did you get to keep what you found?
No, it was nasty, man.
I mean, you're running through the shit and you're like, hey, cool, fucking Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm very glad my job requires no butthole stuff.
Not yet. So, anyways.
Jesus.
So, yeah. So, like Justin said, she's hiding the fucking food in the tampon dispenser because why the fuck not? And then we get one of our first, I think this is our first kill in the movie, yeah?
Yep, 17 minutes in, so pretty decent pacing on that, too.
So, the design of our killer, the mascot, fucking Bob the Builder, or Ned the Nailer, or the fuck he is actually kind of a cool idea. The idea of a mascot, someone being a serial killer and using a mascot is kind of cool. And actually
it's unique to say.
No, it is. And that is the image that sold me on the fucking movie on Amazon to watch it. But I'm watching it and this mascot just looks like he's a fucking meth head. His eyes are all fucking red. There's dried blood on his face. So it makes me think that this movie was shot out of order, which most movies are, but they just didn't have the fucking budget to send the fucking mascot head to a fucking cleaners. Because this chick's sitting there, and the mascot, I mean, first of all, she's in the fucking female bathroom. She's in the women's bathroom. And this mascot comes in the women's fucking bathroom and just starts fucking waving at her. And her response is to be like, hey, mascot, fuck me. I like to be nailed.
Or like looking for someone to nail.
You gotta do it in her voice, you know. Nail me, nailer.
I mean, that's it, dude. I mean, that's exactly. Hey, nail me, nailer. I want to get nailed. I want to get nailed so hard.
The whole thing is just very upsetting, and you wonder who this poor girl's parents are.
That's all I can fucking think is, who are her fucking parents? And they need to go to jail. I mean, who raises their fucking kid to want to fuck a mascot who's hitting them with an inflatable fucking nail in the women's fucking bathroom?
You mean you've never been there? It's pretty much a turn on.
And what makes it even fucking worse is this motherfucker, this mascot, pulls out a fucking knife, and after he pulls out the knife, she's still like, I want to be nailed. Why don't you nail me really hard? Oh. And she does this thing like Jennifer Love Hewitt, you know, and I Don't Know What You Did Last Summer, where she puts her arms behind her and is like, where are you? Where are you? She does this shit in the fucking bathroom, telling Nailer the fucking nailer to fucking nail her. And the mascot throws this fucking knife, hits her dead center in her fucking head, and all of a sudden we get like 3 minutes of an Evil Dead like fucking blood scene.
On top of which, while he's clapping and dancing around for killing her.
Yeah, that's the most fucking weird thing is, so she's got this fucking knife in her head, dead center in her fucking forehead, and the blood's just fucking gushing out, and this motherfucker's just clapping and dancing. And then we get to rest of this fucking movie, which is the touchy fucking fetish.
You know, I gotta say on this first kill though, like, I mean, it's fairly well done. I mean, it's unique enough that you kind of want to keep watching, and him dancing and stuff kind of makes it more interesting and adds more character to the to the nailer guy.
What?
It just, I don't know. It's a decent first death, I think. I mean, it's done 17 minutes in, so the pacing's decent, and then the way it's executed is fine in my book.
I agree with Shane as far as being dead center, and that's just cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, it's dead center. I get low budget horror movie. Okay, cool, awesome. But it's the dead center thing, and then Nailer's gonna do this little fucking dancey, clappy the fucking hands, and then we get I'm just gonna weirdly fucking rub faces. And this is something that has bugged me through this whole movie, because for some reason, whomever, spoiler alerts, is in this fucking Nailer costume, just has this fucking fetish for rubbing faces. And it's just killing me.
Yeah, I mean, something to talk about a little bit later when we get to more of to not ruin the spoilers for later on. Like, I don't know, maybe this might be a little bit more reveal, but we already talked about how Ginny kind of rubs faces a lot, so it kind of makes you think, you know, maybe there's multiple killers, or it could be, I don't know, it's kind of odd to think. It kind of sets it up for a sequel where you don't know where it's going to be going.
Did you just say it sets it up for a fucking sequel?
He hints at it, like the way they execute the kills.
What the fuck does he hint at for a fucking sequel?
I mean, looking at it with the way that the killer rubs faces, and there's other characters in the movie that do similar things where they're very touchy, and in certain scenes, Nailer doesn't act like who he ends up being. It's something to kind of address later on in the podcast when we get to those reveals, but I feel that it kind of does set it up to what could have been going on during the movie.
Okay, so we get our first fucking official kill, and then we're back to this gym, because apparently all the kids who signed up for the famine to get extra GPAs are all hanging out in the gym. So, Justin, why don't you tell us what's going on at the gym? Give us the good old skeleton booty breakdown.
All right, so what's going on is the famine opens up. So what the famine basically is, to kind of put in a paraphrase, as Shane said, it's if you don't eat for 24 hours in the gym, you get extra credit. Our main cast, the females are all cheerleaders, and one of our main characters is kind of failing out of her classes, so she needs the extra credit to pass for the year. That's why the whole Scooby Doo gang is at the gym this year, is because they need it. Now, the famine itself is kind of weird in the sense that literally all they have to do is not eat for 24 hours, which is kind of an odd thing for a school to do, but at sloppy secondary, it's the norm. Weirdly enough, all they really have in there is like one volleyball ball and a ping pong table that our main cast has nothing to do with. We get about like 6 just random students in the background that we really never hear or see do anything else besides just stand there. That's a basic synopsis of what the famine is and what's going on in the gym as far as opening up. Kenny, do you have anything to add?
No, that pretty much sums that up. But if you go forward just about another minute after that, you get to the around 23 minutes. So when you get to the bathroom stall with this Asian dude.
Oh yeah, this is kind of another weird thing that's in there. Is just going back just for a second. It's revealed at the very beginning of the famine that our cheerleader main cast isn't stashing the food to eat it for themselves. They're going to sell it to the other 6 students there. So some of them are doing it for extra credit, and apparently the others are just trying to make a profit from the other.
But you never
6
see anybody actually fucking buy anything the whole time.
Nope, it's a plan that did not work for shit. But as Kenny was saying, our favorite, or at least my personal favorite character of this entire movie, is this Asian kid.
Oh my god, are we the Asian kid?
We're at the Asian kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
his name is Peterson, by the way.
So I feel like Kenny's been a little bit quiet during this podcast. So Kenny, why don't you give us the opus, if you will, of the Asian kid?
Well, the Asian kid is in a bathroom stall and he gets a ho-ho. And he's very excited.
You got to be legit. It wasn't a ho-ho. It was a Swiss roll.
So Swiss roll. Well, yeah, but they're all ho-hos to me. But yeah, a Swiss roll. So he gets a Swiss roll out. He's all very excited about it. And he takes this ho-ho out and he stands up, pulls out down his pants, and he starts jacking off with this ho-ho.
Now, wait. Is he actually jerking off with the ho-ho? Or
I'm thinking he's completely jerking off with it because my wife, my wife watched this movie with me, and
poor woman.
She's like, it's like, are they really that small? He's like, how can you fuck a ho-ho like that? And I was like, that's just fucking weird.
He's Asian. It's a racist joke.
That's what I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking it's a racial joke, and he is just jerking off to a magazine with a ho-ho.
What's arguably my favorite line comes out of this scene where he goes, "Nice and hairy pie." It's enough to make you feel uncomfortable, but want to keep watching.
See, I thought that he wasn't jerking off like with the ho-ho, like he was actually penetrating the ho-ho. He was trying to have.
No, I took it as penetration.
Yeah, he was straight fucking that thing. Like it wasn't. It was happening, and we were forced to watch.
Because it's not like he had like the. Oh, what do you call it? The filling. He didn't have like crumbled up filling all over his hand or nothing like that. So I would assume penetration.
So, did he have any kind of AIDS? As in like masturbation AIDS with him?
You gotta be careful. You can get those, real bad Swiss roll herpes.
Have some baby Swiss rolls.
You get the herpes. You never know. You gotta be careful about them little Swiss rolls. They're real alluring, but they'll get you.
So this dude's fucking his. So they're basically, he's having his American Pie scene pretty much, right? So he's having his American Pie scene, and dude, he's going to town on that fucking Swiss roll. I mean, he's got himself like a Penthouse era fucking porn magazine, which what the fuck, X-Hamster? Come on now. Who the fuck jerks off to fucking magazines these days?
Well, you gotta remember the famine. You can't have your phone, so you had to improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Oh,
I say good on Asian boy.
Deep cuts, sir. Very well done.
And now, did you notice now when Nick and his friend comes up to the stall, to get ready to try to bust in on them. Like there is a sign there on that stall door that says, "Don't be a fat fuck."
I felt like they were talking to me.
It was a personal it's a personal attack against Shane, and I, for one, will not stand for it.
I know. I feel like I have been fat shamed having seen that.
I think the whole scene was fat shaming with him fucking this fucking Swiss roll.
So, I mean, and again, this is low budget, so we got to take that into context. But so, apparently, Tweedledee and Twiddle fucking Dumb are hanging out. They open up the fucking door. For some reason, they like knock, and they're taking a picture with their phone. And this Asian dude just starts fucking screaming like, eh, 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 eh. And this shit just fucking goes on forever.
Oh, it's fucking awful. It's like a normal, rational being would be like, I should probably zip my pants up and put this fucking magazine and shit
Dude,
away.
my argument would be
he
is
just
if you're
sits
fucking
there.
a Swiss roll, you should just fucking finish.
Show those boys what's up. Teach my boy Nick a lesson.
I mean, dude, just because you got a small dick, fucking work it, man.
That's my motto for everyday life.
Is that what you tell your fiance? Hey, you want to marry me? Just because I got a small dick, I'll work it.
She says, can you pay for the house? I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, I'll tolerate it.
There you go. So then we get to one of one of the things this movie has is systemically weird fuck cutting. So these dudes take the picture, and they're taking another little picture, and it's fucking douchebag 1, douchebag 2. And then you still hear little fucking Asian dudes screaming, eh. I'm like, dude, just fucking come already. And
well, it's really weird because like you're talking about the cutting. It's like when it cuts back to them in the gym, like they're smacking each other in the ass with like pull paddles and shit at this point.
There are some fucking like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 homoerotic scenes going on.
And we didn't really acknowledge it, but there's like really like big time jumps. Like from when the first murder happens, it cuts to 7 p.m.
Are you trying to tell me that they really weren't pretty strict with the continuity here?
Oh fuck no, they were all over the place with it.
So Miss Vickers decides she's gonna grab fucking Asian dude, and she's gonna kick him out. Again, she's taking him out, she's kicking him out, and she tells him to leave, and he turns around and just decides, I'm gonna run around the fucking school for some fuck weird reason.
Well, and the weird thing with it is that the famine is all for extra credits. At this point, he's lost the extra credit because he ate, but he still decides to stay in the school instead of go home when he can eat.
I mean, one of the best scenes is as Miss Vickers is kicking his ass out. You have another point of view shot coming from our killer through the mascot head. And from what we're seeing on the screen, this fucking mascot has to be standing in the middle of the fucking hallway.
I thought the same thing as soon as I seen it.
And nobody fucking acknowledges it. And then we get to where Miss Vickers just like says, okay, go. And Asian dude just turns around and fucking runs. And it just reinforces Justin's theory that they're all fucking special needs because he doesn't. It's so fucking random. Then we get to they're all hanging out. And I mean, one of the things that just drives me fucking insane isn't so much that they're just all hanging out in this fucking gym, but that they're all hanging out and they're all fucking dressed like fucking prostitutes. Every female in this fucking movie is dressed like a fucking prostitute. I mean, or is it just me?
Got to make that money somehow. Got to keep the viewers in.
Dude, and it just... So Jenny's... They're hanging out. She's being all fucking special on the side. And then we get one of the... What I feel to be one of the best lines in cinematic history, which is, if you pull the dildo out, you'll let all the stupid free, or some shit like that. Which gets us to the best scene I have ever seen in a movie.
Arguably the best, arguably the most upsetting.
This is the scene that just made me love this movie. So one of the rules in a horror movie is every 7 minutes you have to have some sort of sex or a kill. And that's pretty much the generic kind of rule that every horror movie goes by. So we're about to that 7 minute mark where we got to have some sex. So we get fucking Justin's spirit animal, your main man, fucking Sarah. And he's,
my main man
in the toilet, which for some reason, let's have the toilet seat fucking up. And Sarah's just bouncing up and down on him, doing that whole little stereotypical fake sex scene. Boom, 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 boom. Jenny barges into the fucking stall. This is in the bathroom. Pulls Sarah off to yell at her for a fucking tampon, maxi pad gag. And then I counted about 5 seconds of screen time. And the dude just fucking nuts at least, I don't know, 8 ounces, 3 fucking shots all over Jenny's face.
Oh yeah, it's fucking great. Like, so it's kind of weird because she comes in there with like some used tampons and she's like hitting her with them, and then it just cuts to my main man Nick's face, his like nut face, and he's just and it just
Oh man, it's totally his fucking O face.
and that shit's like registered as a lethal weapon in Iowa because it fucking it shoots.
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking like not like a fucking milliliters. We're talking this motherfucker shoots ounces all over Jenny's face, like at least 3.
It's a fucking super soaker.
Yeah, at least like 3 feet away.
And as soon as like that happens, I don't know if you guys caught it, but like for just a split second, like as that happens, she kind of looks like kind of disgusted, but then kind of smiles for half a second, and then she fucking tastes it.
Yes, dude, that is on my notes. Why? Right after he gets his O face and is like, "Hey Jenny, how you doing?" She just does this look where she's just tasting it, and then she smiles and rubs it on her fucking tit, or not her tit, but the top part of her fucking chest, and walks away with this big like cat eating the canary fucking grin.
So you guys are telling me if a dude nutted on your face, you wouldn't have a like, when in Rome type of moment?
I honestly wouldn't.
That's negative.
I don't believe Kenny 100% because of that scene we were filming earlier.
And then we get to our sure, why not? Let's go ahead and show some tits. So we get a little bit of fighting going on, cat fighting, shirts come off, blah, 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 blah. Let's see some fucking tits. And I mean, our two friends, realistically, there's only about 3 people in this fucking movie. Everybody else just fucking says words here and there.
Yeah, the little shirts coming off scene was great. And they're like, we paid these Craigslist actresses $30. We got to make sure we get those $30 out of it. So open them up. Fan service.
I mean, and the best part is, I mean, one of the best actors in this whole fucking movie is Justin's fucking spirit animal, whatever the fuck his name is. Because he just fucking owns it, man. I mean, it's like watching the dude from John Travolta's character from fucking Grease in a horror flick.
I like to believe that Christopher Lamas didn't even know he was filming a movie. They just let him loose and go to town.
So I just thought of him as like a really shitty ripoff version of Stifler.
I think a Stifler is a really shitty rip-off version of him.
God bless.
So then in the spirit of let's just have some fucking tits on screen, we get Jenny who, you know, we already know she's got a fucking crush on fucking Stifler Jr. here. And she's changing her clothes. She opens up her locker and we see his fucking picture. So it just confirms she's got some weird fucking crush on him. And for some weird reason, she's getting dressed, but she just has to leave half her tit out. So that way the janitor can come up and be like, hey, what you doing? And then this fucking trick strikes a fucking pose. While the janitor is finger banging his fucking face, our protagonist is just doing the hands on the hip, fucking one tit out, you know, hey, how you doing, janitor?
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably paid her $35 for that shit.
I had to do it.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what fucking school is this? What school is this that this fucking janitor, like 9 hours later, is still fucking sweeping?
That guy's a war hero. He's putting in time and effort now.
And, you know, at this point, our janitor is giving us the really creepy big eyes and saying weird shit. And I don't know what's going on because Jenny's saying things like she's creeped out, but her body language is like, take me in the back room and fuck me.
Yeah, the way the janitor says hard, really just, not a good feeling from it.
So, yeah, this janitor character is just, I don't know if he's supposed to be like a red herring or what's fucking going on with this janitor guy. We jump forward a little bit and then our Asian guy is still back in there. Now, Jiminy fuck miss. So This is where I believe that the janitor is the fucking hero of this movie. Because our Asian dude apparently has been chasing his Swiss Miss roll that somebody is fucking Tom and Jerrying by having a little fucking twine attached to it and then pulling it through the fucking hallways. And our little fucking Asian dude from Goonies is still chasing that motherfucking thing around. Like he's got this big old fucking grin on his face, fucking hand on his dick, and it's like the most exciting fucking thing he's ever seen.
I just want to point out, like you're saying, the janitor is the hero in this movie. It's almost an understatement because
He's a fucking hero.
so the Asian kid, we had our time jump to 7 p.m. right, and the Asian kid is starts chasing the food. We don't see the conclusion to this until after the time jump to 12:24. So this Asian kid has been chasing this fucking thing around the school for 5 hours.
5 hours.
That's dedication.
That is, and if you look at this food, there's not a fucking speck of dust on it. So that is some fucking floors that's so clean you can fucking eat off of it.
But it's not like he's chasing it to eat it. He's chasing it to fuck it.
Well, hey, spoiler alert. Oh my god, dude, this is fucking random as fuck. I mean, I guess it's got to be noted that this movie's like an hour long, and we've actually talked about this movie longer than its fucking run length. So we get Fucky McFuck Pants Part 2, who's running around from room to room, hiding from the janitor for whatever the fuck reason. And he ends up getting into the kitchen. Apparently, Fucky McFuck Pants carries some laxative with him, dumps it in some fucking soup that's just sitting around, and then decides he's going to piss in a fucking bottle of pickles. But instead of just fucking pulling his dick out and pissing in a bottle of pickles, he puts his fucking leg up like he's fucking the bottle of pickles. And we get a scene of just him pissing in a bottle of pickles, which gives us one of our, I think, gorier fucking kill scenes, yeah?
Yeah, now this is like the moment where I was like, you can actually tell this dude's special effects makeup. I honestly, this was my favorite kill. I just thought it was the most brutal of them all. Just like how he's just like doing like a saw action with it.
Oh yeah, when he goes back for like the second slash, it just kind of really completes the scene.
Well, we get Bob the Builder comes up behind him and just starts fucking sawing at this guy's neck. And we're not talking like a little couple saws. We're talking like, I don't know, a good like 3 or 4 seconds of just fucking sawing at his neck.
It's kind of really weird that there's just cafeteria food just sitting out overnight. He's like, this is what I'm putting laxatives in. This is what they're going to eat tomorrow. Like, it's just kind of weird.
So that's the weird part is the fucking...
Yeah, that's the weird. The entire rest of the movie's been like completely normal compared to my life. So this is what struck me as odd.
And then right here after the kill, you go into Shane's favorite fetish, starts rubbing his face.
Yeah, and the fucking face rubbing thing is just the most awkward ever. I don't get it. So we get back into the fucking gym, Scooby Gang doing Scooby Gang shit. I mean, honestly, there's about 5 or 6 scenes of this where it's just like they're talking for the sake of talking, but it's not really moving anything forward. It's just Jenny being fucking crazy, doing weird hand movements, showing her tits off. Justin's fucking spirit animal doing whatever the fuck he's doing. And Ethan Embry's, fucking twin brother making out with the chick with the fucking wig.
And it should be noted that this is like the first couple scenes where Jenny is like starting to realize some shit's messed up here. She's like, look at all who's here. They were at the last famine, and that didn't turn out so well.
Well, and that brings up a good point, is we've been told many a time that Jenny was not at the fucking last famine, but this movie seems to forget about that.
As you're saying, there's a lot of continuity to what they put out after the movie was, done, like where they're saying, oh, it's you look at any description, it's 2 years since the last famine, but every character in the movie says it's 5.
Now, since we're talking about that, now the one thing that I think you guys are both missing out on, now Justin was saying about the 2-year thing, but the big issue is now Jenny wasn't at the last famine. The last famine was 5 years ago. But in high school, it's not 5 years for high school. So, what grade are these people supposed to be in?
Oh no, I mean that's not something that we really. I mean,
Okay, I didn't know if you just didn't catch it or not, but I'm sitting there thinking it's like, well, 5 years is like,
well,
no, it's like there's something odd, like it's not right. Like, so like these people are what, like Jenny? I mean, if you just say Jenny's a senior, what are you saying that these people are 23 and it was just held back for 5 years?
well, that kind of goes into Justin's whole their special needs theory.
Yeah, because they need a couple extra years to catch up.
Because Jenny actually drops a line talking to Sarah and says something to the effect of like, just because you've been in high school for 5 years, you're stupid or some shit. But I mean, if you look at the actors when the famine last happened, they looked all fucking seniors. Uh, so yeah, no, man, Kenny, I'm with you on this. I just think this is one of those fast and loose. We had a budget of $4 type movies. So that gets us to our Asian friend again, who is finally caught up to his Swiss roll, which by this point, this fucking Swiss roll looks like it's just been drugged through hell. And this motherfucker is on his hands and knees chasing it down, and he is just the most excited little motherfucker in the world. He holds it up to the God, says, "Dear God, yes, I fucking caught you. Oh my God." And what does he proceed to do? He proceeds to fucking fillet it. He sticks that motherfucker in his mouth and just gives it like a 30-second blowjob. I mean, I think I almost fucking came watching it.
Something that's it's kind of funny. The actor that plays Peterson, we can all kind of agree that him being able to fuck a Swiss roll is a racial joke on Asian people, right?
I mean, I want to get to the part where how does he not fucking notice that there's a fucking twine tied to it?
When you're in the mood, you don't care. It's just like how when you get a ladyboy, you're just like, you don't even notice the string attached to that. You're just going for a hole.
Is that your thing? I mean, is that what happened with Kenny? Is, he really didn't put two and two together until he had one in his mouth?
Hey, that's life philosophy right there.
But right there when you say like when he's sitting there giving the Swiss roll head, like he's not biting down on it at all or anything. He's keeping that thing whole so he can put his dick in it.
He's a gentle blowjob giver.
Now, Shane, to put things in a light manner, you're a little fluffy yourself, right? I mean, you haven't ever done anything like that with some chicken nuggets? Like, don't lie now.
I have never fucking filleted a chicken nugget.
You're missing out.
Filleting chicken nuggets. So our friend, he fillets the fucking Swiss roll, sticks it in his mouth, pulls his fucking dick out, and proceeds to start fucking his Swiss roll. And he is just the happiest motherfucker in the world. And then we get the whole kill shot, which is, well, it's not really a kill shot. I guess it kind of is Bob the Builder comes up behind him while he's fucking jerking off, fucking the Swiss roll, and sticks a spike through his head.
Yeah, he nails it because he's the nailer. Isn't that really neat how they work that in?
Wah, wah, wah.
I mean, I guess I don't know if it would be a complete spoiler to jump ahead, but now when that scene happened, it was a clear moment for me. I don't know.
It was a moment of clarity for you.
It was a moment of clarity. Is that because we got him? He's chasing the Swiss roll on the string. I mean, for hours. And we also had, you called him like douchebag 2 in the kitchen pissing in pickles, and he gets killed while this is happening. So that would more or less confirm that there would be 2 killers at this point in time.
Are you real?
I honestly, that deep? I hold the belief that there's more than 2.
I just think it's awesome that you thought that deep into the movie, that you were like, hey, 2 killers.
I mean, yeah, because like, I mean, if he's sitting there chasing, I mean, like, that's like, there has to be, at the very least, there has to be 2.
This movie has a lot of social commentary that I think people are missing out on.
Such as
old ugly janitor being a war hero and he's messed up, or that him chasing a Twinkie is America's dependency on fast food and trans fat.
Wow,
Ryan went all out with this movie, I gotta say.
Wow. So your idea is that the Twinkie is representative of America's need for complex carbohydrates and trans fats, and should we continue to eat those, we are essentially fucking ourselves, leading to our own deaths.
We're gonna get nailed in the fucking head. And Ryan hit that one right before it on the nail or on the head. Fuck.
Okay, so now we get our token black chick who's tied up for some reason. Fucking Bob the Builder decided not to kill her, tie her ass up, and she's just saying a bunch of generic shit. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and I won't tell nobody. It'll be okay. And Bob the Builder, we get into our standard creepy. I'm gonna touch you by the fucking face. And I think this is the laziest kill. He just pushes her forward.
Well, and here's the part of the movie that made me think there were two killers, right? Because when she's talking to him, she kind of speaks to him like it's a man. So at this point, I had thought it was the janitor that was kind of doing things.
Yeah, I could never get behind the whole janitor thing because to me, the janitor was just an obvious red herring.
I would agree with that.
Her dialogue towards Naylor it indicates that the killer's male. So I don't know. In my mind, I was like, there's got to be either it's a janitor or there's multiple people behind it.
I would argue that since the mascot is masculine, that's why she went with the masculine inflection.
Well, I only say that because she's like, you said you would let me go, which infers that they had a dialogue.
That is true.
And if it was, the character that at the end it's revealed to be, then there would be no way for her to have a dialogue with that character and not realize who it is.
Unless there was a sort of voice box, or they used a voice like.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point there, but I don't know. I think it kind of there's like some deeper things in this movie that kind of infers to other characters having a smaller role in the killings.
Well, it gets us to our next kill, which is something happens off screen. We get to our German fucking principal. Jenny walks in on him, and I guess dude was fucking jerking off to some. I think it was scat porn. I think Justin, you're thinking it was just straight up fucking gay porn.
Yeah, I thought Jenny said some shit about it being gay porn later on.
Yeah, I kind of took it as being scat porn. He was talking about up the pooper shoot and shit balls or something.
Yeah, shit balls. One of the best lines in the movie.
Then for some reason, he gets killed, his eyes cut out, and Jenny's just like, "Hey, it's okay. You got killed. I'm gonna take your hand off your cock so you don't look so bad." And she makes her way back to Miss Vickers and tells Miss Vickers, "Oh fuck, there's some shit going down." To which Miss Vickers explains it. It's just Jenny having a bad menstrual cycle because women like them have heavy flows.
Amen. It just happens. It's about time women realize that.
And with that scene with the principal, when it turns around a chair, like it kind of read to me like Halloween 2 with Dr. Miltzer, when he gets turned around and you get to see the syringe in the eye, kind of. Or maybe I just like Halloween too much.
I think you like Halloween too much.
Well, it is really weird in the scene how calm Jenny is, and as Kenny says, I do agree that this movie does have a lot of throwbacks to older horror movies. Like I get a lot of My Bloody Valentine vibes for this movie, just with the way the camera work is done.
Really?
Yeah, but that's just my kind of feel of it. I mean, maybe I'm just full of shit, but who knows?
You're full of shit.
God bless.
So we get to Miss Vickers after telling Jenny that she's just having an unusually heavy flow, because that's what women do, is they have heavy flows. Decides it's time to kick Jenny out. She goes to kick her out. She takes her to the fucking door, and the door is chained up by not being actually locked. Which this is just one of the scenes that to me is making me fucking laugh, because there's just a chain that's just randomly wrapped around this fucking door, but it's not actually locked at all.
It's kind of weird how they do it. It's like, you know what the best way to lock up a school at night is? What? If we just threw a bunch of big fucking chains around the door. Are we gonna have a lock on it? Oh, no, that would no.
Well, the principal in Lean on Me got in trouble when he locked it like that.
True, and it is kind of weird though. Like as you're saying though, like there's so many staff there overnight, like the janitor and the principal that aren't involved in the famine.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things is to kind of go back is no fucking school's going to let you do this fucking famine. So Jenny gets out. She goes for some reason these fucking other two teachers from the beginning of the movie, who we have not seen at all, referenced at all. They're sitting in their cars. They're dead, and one of the best deaths is apparently they were stabbed with what are those fucking pine tree thing? Air fresheners.
Air fresheners. Yeah, air fresheners. I fucking love this. That the fact that just it doesn't show it, but I just love the idea of someone in a big fucking mascot costume is just trying really hard to get into a car and stab someone with a fucking air freshener.
Now, do you think the killer actually got in there with their fucking mascot, or do you think it was like, the killer being like, "Hey, I'll give you some BJ's," and then stabby, stabby?
I can only hope so that it was done in the mascot costume because I would love to see that in like some a re-release version. Yeah.
Director's cut.
The director's got a fucking detention night where we get to see Ryan's true dream.
Oh my god! So by this point, shit's starting to hit the fan. Jane's running around. Oh god! Everyone's hanging out at the gym. Apparently, the gym is where everybody fucking hangs out. More fucking witty banter.
It's kind of weird though how so we saw from the inside that the doors were chained from the inside, right? But she just happens to go to a door to get so finding the two teachers in the car was just the plot device of her finding a key to get back inside. And then she just happens to find a door that's not chained up from the inside, just locked.
Well, we were talking about influences, and this is where we get our "I know what you did last summer" fucking circle cam, and all of a sudden, all our little fucking Scooby gangs hanging out in the gym, and we get an ominous voice and a circle cam for God knows fucking. Not only is it a circle cam for way the fuck too long, but it's like shaky, so it's like epileptic inducing fucking circle cam.
It should be noted that when the announcement at this part first starts on Circle Cam, that Kathy can be seen kind of smirking at it.
Oh yeah, Miss Vickers is sitting there playing with some fucking uh
5 pound
yeah,
weight
fuck.
for no apparent reason.
She's kind of got her little fucking smirk too. So, I mean, not to give away spoilers, but I feel like at this point we kind of sort of know who the killers are.
Well, I think it just shows that female fitness is very important. And that's what Ryan was really trying to get at this scene.
So I couldn't stop staring at that weight. As soon as I fucking see it, I could not stop staring at it. It's like, that is just fucking odd. It's just so random.
The random weight and fucking Jenny just saying random shit and fucking douchebag. I totally forget what douchebag number one's name is. The more I fucking drink, the more I forget. His like just
Nick.
his random like, I know it's you, Balzac.
Well, I think we're missing. We skipped one of my favorite scenes. I just kind of want to go back and touch on it briefly. The scene where the mascot. So Jenny gets back into school, right? And at this point, the lights in the halls are flickering for no apparent reason. It cuts to a scene where the nailer is dragging, blonde guy number 2 through the halls, and he puts him through like a dishwashing scullery. Like, it's fucking great. He comes out at the end all like just fucked up, and then Naylor just whoosh, slams the fucking like metal lid down on his fucking head. Ginny finds the head in a freezer for some fucking reason because Naylor took the time to put it in there afterwards. And then she goes back and she's like, I had to warn everybody. I'm gonna leave again, but I had to warn everybody. Like, she didn't warn everybody about 15 minutes ago.
That's because Jenny is fucking awesome.
She's special needs. I'm still going back. She forgot that she had warned them before, so she's come back to do it a second time.
Yeah. I mean, legit, Jenny's probably, I don't know if this acting and her character is purposeful, but she's the most fucking intriguing thing about this movie. Yeah, she's got her fucking TNA going on, but her acting choices are just so fucking random, and she commits to them so good with the petting and the hands and the weird fucking movements. She's fucking awesome.
I'm still giving all the credit to the writers on this because I'm pretty sure the three of them sat down and said, I bet we can't write an entire movie in a night if we take this entire bottle of Adderall. And they said, bet, and this is what happened.
Okay, so then we get our movie, and we get our standard horror trope where everybody gets together and then they all break apart. And then we get to what's, again, one of the probably the fifth most awesome scenes is Jenny gets into the student lost and found confiscated goods.
Jenny's got a gun.
Oh yeah, she grabs herself a fucking pistol, gets out the Aerosmith. Jenny's got a gun, puts the gun down, grabs some fucking nunchucks, and then
Before she puts it down, or she fucking licks the thing. Like it's a whole drawn out fucking scene.
Yeah, she does. She does fucking licks it.
she fillets the gun, contemplating her life choices and whether she should put a fucking bullet in her mouth. Puts the gun down and then gets a fucking Game of Thrones cosplay fucking sword and decides that is her weapon.
Now, I just want to back up really quick back to the gym for just a second, where we had the Miss Vickers with the weight in her hand, and when they go to leave, so the door is chained with a lock. They had to have a reason for them to be able to get out of there since it was locked from the inside. So that's why they had to wait to bust this lock. I just thought that was just so stupid.
That was a 5-pound weight, and Miss Vickers has manly strength.
I was about to say, this entire movie is driven forward by lazy plot devices.
And then when we get to this with a gun and then a sword and fucking nunchucks, that's when it just like, there's just no hope at this point for me.
Far before you realize there's no fucking hope.
Well, I mean, like I knew it was shitty within the first 5 minutes. I mean, I knew this was going to be a shit film, but I just like as it just gone on, and then it just got to that. It's like, all the other shit, it's just really shitty, but maybe something decent's going to end up happening. And then when I saw that, it's just beyond ridiculous. I mean, they might as well had Harry Potter's
her licking
wand.
the gun was more symbolism from Ryan. All right, he was saying that America's dependency on firearms is almost sadistic.
Well, would you say that America's dependency on firearms is sadistic, or is it seductive?
It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
This is the social commentary movie of the fucking millennium.
It really is. I think Ryan did a great job putting that stuff in there.
Ready Player 2, coming soon.
I think you're just a fan of his, and you're trying to give a good reason as to why this movie is terrible.
I'm trying to get a good reason to get people to see my boy Nick in action.
I think he's trying to finance Gutterballs 3, Balls Back in Action.
Busted.
So, we've got our Game of Thrones sword, wandering through the halls, blase, blase, blase. Then all of our Scooby gang ends up meeting up at the admin office, where the 1MC thing, or not 1MC, sorry, they're hitting you all some Navy terminology, where the microphone is, the intercom.
Well, we're missing a scene beforehand where, so at this point, I don't know if we mentioned it earlier, but Balzac is making like taunts via the announcement system. He's got like a really thick accent now, and he keeps talking about how you will all die for the pain you caused me. And after she gets her Game of Thrones fucking sword, she's like, I'm gonna go fuck this dude's up. Goes to like the principal's office by herself, and we find out that there's a phone taped to the announcement system. So whoever the killer might be has been making announcements via the phone.
And the plot thickens.
What happens next, Justin?
Are we gonna go? Do you want to go forward to the Scooby Gang meeting up?
Yeah.
So our Scooby Gang meets up outside what we can only assume is the admin office. We believe that our possible killer, the janitor, aka Ugly, is inside. Our brave hero and protagonist Nick has found an axe in obviously the history class, which he intends to use. They ask, who's gonna go inside? And they suggest my boy Nick, but he is no fool. He says, no. Ugly might be pulling his putt in there. And as any reasonable man would say at this point, I don't want to get jizz all over me, because that'd be gay.
But Nick, I just think you're not man enough.
Take it home, Kenny.
You guys already got me too fucked up. I'm fucking laughing too bad.
So,
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Nick is a man. He came on my face.
that's right. So, our whoever the fuck wrote this scene is a genius because they're thinking back. So, what does every man do in his life? What's the goal of every man?
Well, I mean, we're talking about some strict fucking continuity. We're referring back deep cuts to something else that happened in the movie earlier. And we're not forgetting about the fact that Jenny got a fucking shitload of fucking jizz all over her fucking face. No, we're going to fucking hone in on that. And we're going to use that to further develop Nick's character.
That's right.
It's just too funny.
So when Nick's manhood, his essence is fucking questioned, Jenny just speaks up and says, nay, Nick is a fucking man. I've still got his fucking dry semen dripping from my fucking face.
See, this is where Ryan says, listen up, haters who say I don't know anything about continuity. Check this out.
I mean, I am waiting for fucking Gutterballs 12, Gutterballs from Space, to see the fucking throwbacks to Gutterballs 2 and 5.
I'm ready for Ryan's angry response letter to this fucking podcast.
I would love for Ryan to actually hear this fucking podcast.
I'm gonna tweet it at him after this shit is done. But yeah, I mean it's a weird fucking scene that they just said we need a quick one-liner from this, and they said I have an idea, and this is what they threw at us.
Come on my face.
Anyways, they kick in the door, or Miss Vickers is the only one with balls. Hint, hint. To go and open up the office, and to which we find Ugly fucking murdered. To which one of the greatest lines from one of the greatest characters ever conceived in cinematographic history. What does he fucking say? He's like, Ugly's on his period, or some shit like that. And it's just fucking awful, but great at the same time.
Why is it so great?
It's a play on because he's bleeding and his face looks like
so he's got a big fucking cut in his face, looks like a vagina that he's been fucking finger banging all movie, and now the movie's telling us that he must be on his fucking period because he's got blood gushing from his face.
Yes. See, Ryan, he understands horror and comedy.
Carpenter, fucking take it back.
He's almost a triple threat. He's a double threat right now, but I'm telling you, the romance movie is right around the corner.
I almost want him to make the sequel to the new Halloween remake.
Fuck no.
One funny thing is that, like, when I first watched this, and like in the very beginning of this podcast, like I said, like how shitty the special effects was. I guess I guess I was just oblivious to it, but I just did not catch the hint that that's supposed to be like a vagina. And now that you guys keep saying it, like the more and more I think about it, it's like you guys are absolutely right. And maybe that special effects makeup isn't terrible after all. It's meant to be a vagina.
I mean, some of us have actually seen more than one vagina, so we get it.
That now I haven't. Like, working in the prison system, I've seen thousands of naked men and very few women.
See, Kenny understands Ryan's vision now. It just took him a minute to understand.
Is the janitor going to be your Halloween costume next year?
Obviously not. I'm going as Nick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, something that's kind of weird with the scene though is that in every other scene where there's been a death, whether it be getting their eyes gouged out or stabbed in the fucking neck with air fresheners, there's no really clear shot of why this guy died. Like, his face is scratched up, obviously, but there's no, like, at least I didn't see, like, a knife or anything, like, in his neck that's going to indicate that that's why he died. His face is fucked up like it was before.
So, moving forward, what we do is we get, all of a sudden, fucking Gilda Radner shows up, and she's got blood all over her, and she's doing her, I killed Miss Vickers, and
she came at me with a knife.
She cut me. I see. Look, I'm not really a killer because she cut me.
There's gonna be people protesting this fucking podcast. I just won't put that out there.
Dear Lord, yeah. fucking love child of Bobcat Goldthwait here. So she does a little thing, blase blase, kill, kill. Jenny takes off with fucking whatever the fuck his name is, Justin's spirit animal. And so Nick.
My boy Nick.
So Jenny and Nick come up to Miss Vickers' dead body while Gilda Ratner's fucking abortion of a child is talking to the other two. Gilda Ratner all of a sudden just flips the fuck out. And we see why old girl's wearing the horrible wig, because the special effects budget did not, give you too much. So we had to cut off the wig with the "let me show you an Indian trick" routine.
Well, it's super weird because they left her with the sword. She's like, listen, you gotta drop the sword. Because she got fucking fat girl, with a knife to the neck. And she's like, let me show you an old Indian trick. And then proceeds to fucking scalp her shitty wig off. And at no point, Sarah says, hey, there's a fucking 4-foot sword at my feet. Maybe I should swing that at this fucking weird chick.
Yeah. And the chick's just like, okay, I'll let you show me the Indian trick.
It's like, that sounds really cool. I want to see an Indian trick.
That's neat. So Fucky McFuckpants gets her fucking ass scalped, and that kills her. And parallel to it, we have fucking douchebag number one and Jenny. Nick. We have Nick and Jenny. They come up on Miss Vickers. Jenny's like, hey, is he dead? And he pokes her and it's like, yeah, she's dead. And then Mick Vickers pops out and dun 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 dun. Surprise, Mick Vickers is a killer. And she starts stabbing him in the fucking... She finger fucks his belly button with a knife.
Hold up, I want to revisit this death scene real quick for a second. Rephrase it, as you will. Just to give my boy Nick a little bit more of a kind of a heroic death. All right, so he comes onto the scene with Jenny, who is a woman who, as we all know, are defenseless.
Of course.
That's one of the reasons why people are going to protest this podcast. But so she's defensive. So he's like, I'll check to see if she's dead or not. So he takes his little axe, which he obviously got from the history class, and pokes her with it, which she's like, yep, she's dead. And Jenny goes, no, that's no way to check. Now, Nick, my boy, thinking back to his medical expertise, is like, I better check a pulse at this point. So he checks the pulse, but him not being a medical expert is like, yeah, she's dead. To which this snake, Miss Vickers, gets up and stabs our very brave, heroic protagonist in the gut. And it should be noted, I don't think we mentioned it earlier, but every time there's like a death scene, they just play like this really shitty metal music that they just keep going back to.
Yes,
and
they
I
do.
think that's fantastic and awful at the same time.
It's the free clip art shit you find on fucking YouTube.
Now, when this happened with Nick dying, I looked at my wife, I paused the movie, and I looked at her and I was like, do you realize we have 17 more minutes of this bullshit to watch?
At this point, I had to reach for a tissue because there were tears going down my face and think, there's 17 more minutes of this without Nick that I have to
watch. Your fucking spirit animal. So Nick gets his fucking stomach just cut the fuck open. And all kinds of fucking Abdullah sausage just comes streaming out of his fucking innards. And again, we get another Evil Dead fucking blood spurting everywhere scene. Psh, psh, psh. And Nick gives his Oscar-worthy death performance.
Well, see, I actually, the scene I actually kind of liked. So this is where I first developed my theory that Ryan had slept with a tranny. So Nick, who we all know is like the essence of manliness, he's dying, right? He's taking his final words, and he goes, "Who are you?" To which Miss Vickers like leans in and fucking kisses his cheek. So that's like our first kind of Miss Vickers being touchy on a man.
I swear to God, that makes no fucking sense.
We'll revisit this at a later time.
Miss Vickers fucking eviscerates fucking Nick. Nick is dead. Jenny's Our hero is our main protagonist, our Mickey Mouse in this goofy
Our hero.
fucking trip of a movie is dead. And all of a sudden, Sarah, it's about her time. So Sarah's running around. She finds herself hidden into a fucking class. And conveniently enough, all the posters are fucking vaginas and fat fucks. And we have Kathy and Miss Vickers descend upon Sarah.
Wait, hold up. We're missing like the best part of this scene. So obviously Sarah just saw uh, Kathy's Indian trick where she scalped her friend. So she's like, okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So she runs to a classroom with Kathy like taunting her the entire way, and she proceeds to like push a desk up against the door. But in good old cartoon fashion, Kathy walks
Yes.
up behind her and helps her
Yes.
push the fucking desk.
It's the Scooby Doo moment.
It's fucking phenomenal. That scene is probably one of my favorite parts because I'm just like, oh, what a dumb bitch.
What? You're here to kill me.
I could not believe it when I seen it happen. I was like, no way.
Well, they were harking back to that original scene where Ballsack is like holding Nick's head as he tries to hit him. They're like, how can we make this like movie have just really weird old cartoon moments? And this was their chance.
So we get our Scooby Doo moment, and the biggest disappointment of the movie starts to happen is fucking Kathy and Miss Vickers. They're pushing Sarah up. They rip off Sarah's shirt, and we get some more gratuitous fucking tit action.
Hold up. This scene is expertly done, I think. I think Ryan was like,
And we get Miss Vickers very delicately, very sensually cupping the bottom of Sarah's underage breasts while she gets her switchblade out and cuts off her fucking nipple while Kathy goes more into the fucking face touching fetish.
well, it's weird because we don't really see like the nipple get cut. She's just like tapping the knife to her breast. It's like some weird.
At 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 57 seconds, you see the fucking nipple being halfway fucking cut off.
Yeah, you get to see it. Yeah, because like now when this happened, I was like, I mean, this was the most realistic looking thing in the entire movie. I mean, by far the best special effects of the movie, in my opinion.
And it's just a scene of fucking Miss Vickers coupling the fucking tit with the knife about halfway through the fucking nipple. Not even through the nipple, the areola, if you will. And so we get some more sigh. They kill her. Sarah looks sad. They start fucking fondling her face again. And so now I think the only person we have left to kill is Jenny, where this is where it makes no fucking sense because this whole movie takes place. This whole movie is Vickers trying to get Jenny to leave because they don't want to kill Jenny because she wasn't there for the original Famine fucking 5 years ago. But now we're going to chase Jenny around, and Jenny has this fucking nail gun that just kind of pops in and out of the fucking movie.
Yeah, she gets it randomly in like the in like the principal's office where she found the fucking phone taped to the shit.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
Can I go back for just a second? So something I want to point out is on Amazon's version, they do not have the nipple being cut off. So I just went back and checked it. Yep, they in the Amazon version they do not show it. So I just want to kind of put that out there.
So we watched the uncensored, uncut version.
Unrated,
God. So
X-rated.
If you want to see them nipples being cut, go to YouTube.
So if you're into like hardcore lesbian sadism, YouTube's the way to go.
I'm all about the YouTube. And I mean, just to further backtrack, I think what we forgot to mention is the fact that it was Kathy who was in the fucking Bob the Builder costume the whole time.
Which is kind of weird because the Bob the Builder. So just casting wise, if you look at it, Ryan, the director, was actually the guy in the costume the entire time. But there's several shots where you can see it's a man, like you can see up inside the head where it's short hair. But the continuity of character size is off, like big time.
So, sir, are you calling into question fucking Ryan Nicholson's vision and his technical expertise?
Well, here's where it kind of comes into play that I think there's multiple killers. So after Kathy and Miss Vickers kill my boy's main squeeze, Sarah, there's a scene where Naylor's just like walking around, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Walking in the
yep.
stairwell.
And next time we see Kathy and Miss Vickers, neither of them are in the costume, which makes me believe that there might be another killer.
Yep. A third killer. I mean, that's the only way to explain that.
Well, and kind of looking back, so our first time hearing Balzac on the PA system is when they're all in the gym. And when we're doing a little circle shot, Miss Vickers and Kathy are both in there. So at first I'm thinking, okay, it's a recording maybe. But then at one point, Balzac responds to Jenny when she says, he could be anywhere. He replies with, or everywhere. So it leads me to believe that Kathy and Miss Vickers are not the only people involved.
So we have some third yet unseen serial killer.
I think that is what Ryan is trying to get at. That there are unseen enemies out there that we have to be careful about. Yet another brilliant piece of social commentary from my man Ryan.
I mean, Ron Nicholson. I mean, he's just sounding like the auteur of the millennium. I can't even say that.
God damn it!
I can't even fucking say that with a straight face. Okay, so we are an hour and 9 minutes into this hour and 17-minute masterpiece. We have Jenny, who, as the movie goes on, this chick just looks older and fucking older. And older.
Their makeup budget became less and less as the movie progressed.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they shot it in sequence. So, movie goes on and on. We got Jenny. She confronts fucking Gilda Radner, Kathy, and fucking Miss Vickers. And then we get the real story of what happened. Apparently, because Balzac, made fucking whatchamafuck look like a complete douchebag. They all got together and decided to fuck with them. So they sent Kathy in, telling Kathy that Balzac wanted to fuck her. And so Kathy went in to fucking climb the 72-foot tree that is fucking Balzac. Hey, I want you to fuck me. You're so fucking hot. Balzac's like, oh no. He ends up backing up into the bookcase that has the acid for some fucking reason just hanging out up there.
Well, she pushed him, and something that's kind of odd to me is in this flashback. Whenever they're talking to Kathy in the gymnasium before she goes in there to try to quote unquote seduce Balzac, she speaks completely normal. The actress doesn't do that weird thing she does for the rest of the movie. She speaks completely fine.
That's because that messed her up out there. She almost killed Balzac.
But yeah, she ends up like fucking pushing him. She's like, you don't want me. He's like, no, Kathy, and she's like, and pushes the motherfucker up against the fucking loose bookshelf behind him.
Dude, she just wanted to fucking climb the tree that was Balzac.
Yeah, but who doesn't want to climb that tree is my question.
I mean, it's fucking Balzac.
Don't like any.
Bill Balzac. I'd do it. I'll climb that tree. I'll take that leap.
So we get a retelling. All the blah, 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 blah happens. Balzac gets fucking acid. He comes out looking like the fucking toxic Avenger. Kathy comes out yelling, oh my God, Balzac. Oh my God, Balzac. Oh my God. Clapping her fucking hands and whatever the fuck else little retarded fucking dance she's doing.
This is all happening while Kathy and Miss Vickers are confronting our main character Jenny in the hall with a sword and a knife.
Yeah, which is the most fucking out there scene because Miss Vickers is attacking Jenny with her Game of Thrones fucking 6-foot fucking blade, and Jenny is like fighting her with a nail gun, and they're just like going clink, 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 clink.
Well, they're right next to each other too. So Jenny has this nail gun, but Miss Vickers is like putting the fucking hilt up against the fucking gun the entire time.
And so this is where we get the revelation of the movie. The big spoiler alert is that Miss Vickers is in fact Balzac.
Despite being 3 feet shorter. And if you were at any point attracted to Miss Vickers, then you are not gay, just like Ryan Nicholson after he slept with that transvestite.
If you have if you have a sex change, part of the sex change is you lose 3 feet.
Like Balzac
They just cut
is fucking tall as fuck in this movie. And Miss Vickers is like
balls.
Nick's height.
Balzac is literally fucking 9'10", and Miss Vickers is at the most a fucking 5'10".
So, kind of going forward with this, whenever Miss Vickers is like, okay, it's time to kill our main character, Jenny, she like steps backwards to swing the sword. And that's when, shit happens.
And we get probably what's one of the most anticlimactic endings to a fucking movie is Jenny shoots one fucking nail that goes through both Miss Vickers / Balzac and then right into the fucking middle of the cranium of fucking Kathy.
Well, I think so. This is something I really didn't see, but I just kind of assumed. So when she shoots Miss Vickers, you don't really see an entrance and exit. So I'm assuming that it went through her fucking mouth, which is kind of cool.
I just figured they didn't have enough money for a fucking ending, or they never got around to writing the fucking ending.
The Adderall was starting to wear off.
So we get the one shot fucking wonder, kills them both. We get some fucking cheesy ass fuck music, and then
Well, hold up. She shoots right, and it hits our special needs student in the head. Special needs student falls down, and then Miss Vickers is like, and like falls onto the nail, just like earlier with old girl's Destiny Vanessa.
Yep. Little cheap way to get both of them done, I guess.
They're just like, well, we can't afford a second nail. All right, we'll just reuse the same one, I guess. Fuck.
So then we get our protagonist walking out of the fucking high school, and she just spent the time to go find the head of the mascot, puts the head of the mascot on, and just starts fucking nodding, and credits roll.
Well, since we're at the end, this is where I kind of want to express what I've been talking about earlier. I think there were four killers, basically. So you had Kathy and Miss Vickers, obviously, right? And then we see throughout the movie that Jenny has this weird thing where she touches people's faces, like faces and heads. She does it repeatedly. And a couple times the Nailer costume does the exact same thing. There's a scene where where we just see the Nailer costume walking through the halls, despite Kathy and Miss Vickers not being in the Nailer costume. I believe the janitor was also involved because there's this weird scene with him and a knife. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me that there's multiple killers besides the two we were revealed at.
I don't know. Listen to Justin. You know what? He might be right. Now that I'm like listening to his opinion.
So is this the beginning of some fucking big, trilogy?
Oh yeah, we're getting a trilogy. See, here's the thing. Like Rian Johnson, he's been at least around good movies, and I think his plan is that we're gonna have Detention Night 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4, where the Nailer goes to space. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so the dude who's in the makeup for fucking Blair Witch and Dead Rising Endgame and a fucking Warcraft movie is going to bring us a trilogy of epic proportions.
Yes, 100%. Ryan Nicholson is basically like the Jerry Bruckheimer of our generation, who brought us hits like Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay, so that's the end of the movie. What'd you guys think? All in all, yay or nay?
For me, like I did not like this movie. If I was going to rate it like 1 out of 10, I'd probably give it a 2. But I mean, like how you was talking earlier, like when you were a kid, you go to the video store to cover art section and you'd watch really shitty B horror films. Like that's what this is, but I just didn't get to see the cover. I got to listen to this chain say, "Hey, you need to watch this." So I didn't get to get ripped off by the cover art.
Personally, I love shitty horror films. I mean, I like to watch them while I'm playing my games. And just kind of like not focusing 100% on them, but kind of watching them in the background as I, have downtime in between matches. I would say yay to this movie. It's a shitty movie, but it's a fun shitty movie. You can definitely have entertainment while watching it. I know I definitely did. I've seen the movie about 3 times at this point, and each time I've enjoyed watching it. I'm not gonna lie. Is it the best movie? Is it a fucking Oscar winner? Obviously not. That's why it's on Amazon Prime for free. But it was enjoyable to say the least, and definitely worth a check out if you haven't watched it at this point.
I gotta agree with Justin. It's not a classic, but it's one of those, borderline. It's so bad it's good kind of flicks. I mean, it's only a little over an hour long. It goes at a pretty brisk pace, and there's just so much absurdity that it's one of those movies. If you're hanging out with some people, you can just kind of talk some shit about it, have a few drinks, just kind of be like, what the fuck am I watching? Because it just makes zero fucking sense. But I mean, it's not horrible. I mean, it is what it is. I would definitely recommend it to some people to kind of watch for the experience. Again, it's only an hour long, so it's not like you're really killing too much time. But, is it something that I want to have, a fucking prop replica of fucking Bob the Builder hanging out in my house? No. No, I'd give it a 5. It's not super bad. It's not super good. It's there. Yeah, so, that's pretty much it. It's not a bad movie. It's something cool to watch, Thanks everybody for hanging out with us and listening to us to talk about this movie Detention Night for about an hour longer than what the actual runtime of the movie was. Looks like we lost Kenny, some computer errors, but Justin's got some last minute plugs.
Yeah, so just 2 things I want to plug real quick. First off, shameless self-plugging. As stated earlier, I'm a Twitch streamer, not a screamer. It's twitch.tv/skeleton_booty. I mainly stream Heroes of the Storm, Warcraft, and then various horror games. I love to get the shit scared out of me. So definitely check me out if you like, listening or watching shitty things in the background while you do other things. That's what I'm there for. Other thing I'd like to really kind of give a quick shout out to is Nerdlocker. Nerdlocker is a fantastic site where you can find different podcasts such as Deathlocker, but they also cover normal nerd movies, superhero movies. They do podcast and movie reviews. Definitely worth a check out. I mean, if you've sat through this entire podcast, I think you'll really enjoy the kind of quality stuff they have on Nerdlocker.
Cool beans. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We're done. Thanks for listening, and I think Justin's going to be joining me again when we talk about another cinematic treasure by the name of Bedeviled in the next couple weeks. Yeah,
of course. I can't wait for it. Make sure to look out for it.
Cool beans. Well, you guys have a great evening, night, morning, wherever it's at.
God bless.
Thank you for listening to the Deathlocker podcast. Please join us again real soon, kiddies, for more terrible podcasting.